Holy moly, what a treat we've got today. I was just sat in bed this morning eating half a kilo of porridge, listening to my Will Smith CDs, and then I found this amongst the kanji. Toki Tamaru sparring with Nadaka Yoshinari, one of the best kickboxers and one of the best Muay Thai fighters of the moment. There you've got Toki Tamaru in the green shin guards and Nadaka Yoshinari of the Muay Thai fighting style in the white shin pads. I'm George Hardwick, professional MMA fighter, 13 and 3, and applied sports science first class honours degree, apparently. Let's break down this sparring because there's a lot of cool stuff going on. We'll put it back to the start as we should. Little 2-minute rounds, nice and technical. You can tell they're buddies. They're using a lot of right body kick and left low kick because obviously that's going to change. Normally it's the left body kick and the right low kick if a southpaw is fighting someone in an orthodox stance. There he's doubling up on the inside low kick, kind of an extension of the jab. And what you'll see is as well, the left low kick and the left calf kick come very apparent and very open. A lot of time the southpaw has that lead foot turned in and are a bit more bladed to stay at a longer distance, cover distance linearly much better, and check that inside low kick. So they can become a little bit open to that calf kick. A lot of knee feints off of both men. And we see Toki Tamaru, the kickboxer, he'll extend his stance a little bit more with his jab. And that leaves him open to things like this. This is beautiful. Inside low kick. And as he tries to jab again, because he's stepped his stance long, he gets his foot swept out from under him. It's a little bit, borderline against the rules sometimes in pure kickboxing, but it's allowed in Muay Thai like Nadaka Yoshinari does. Then Nadaka, he picks his leg up, teeps at the thigh, and then as Toki Tamaru steps in, he goes low kick, but because he kicks to the kind of quad hamstring level, Toki can brace against it and keep stepping in. There's a jab to low kick, and they're coming off camera a little bit, not the best camera setup in the world. A lot of jabs. The jab becomes much more important, and it can become that classic style stinging jab through the middle when they're both in the same stance. A lot of the time, it's just kind of a flick to manipulate the lead arm when it's opposite stance. There, little bit of jovial. It's a very jovial spar. A lot of times you'll see Japanese spars are very hard. There's a right, no switch kick. And because the knee went plenty past the target, see if we can freeze this here, on the right body kick, because the knee got a good displacement through the target. Maybe not that deep, but it went past the target. He didn't just kick with a straight leg, he kicked through the target. It's going to knock Toki's balance back off, so he can't really counter very strongly. Boom, it knocks Toki's balance onto his heel as Toki's trying to kick at the same time. Doesn't work as well. There's an inside low kick to outside low kick. It's very unpredictable. If someone's just inside low kicked you, even if you manage to check it, you're probably not going to counter or block that outside low kick. There's a little teep. As the leg comes down, he gets hit with that low kick. That's the downside. If you're bringing your knee up a lot, you're teeping and you're knee feinting a lot, if someone has good timing, they can hit you the moment it comes to the floor. Or like that, as you bring your leg up straight, they can time the calf kick. Because you're bringing your knee up straight, it can block that quad kick or meet the shin, meet the shin with the knee. But you are presenting your calf if someone knows what they're doing. And it's something you're not going to be as used to if you're used to southpaw versus orthodox matchups. There's a really nice calf kick at the end of the round there. As Nadaka feints up his right leg, Toki's going to fake his right leg up and step down into the calf kick. And you can see how much of an off-balancing effect it has. A lot of times, southpaws aren't as conditioned to the calf kick game in the same way that orthodox fighters are. Orthodox fighters, close stance matchup in orthodox, the jab and the calf kick is so huge. But southpaw fighters will probably spend more of their time in open stance matchups, opposite stance matchups, where the calf kick is not as big. Sometimes you see people throw that lead calf kick really quick, like Masaki Noiri against Tawanchai. Here, there's a sweep and a catch. When I've sparred kickboxers before, I've asked them about catches, and they're normally not that fussed. Even though it's not allowed in their sport, and they could potentially get injured, they're really not that fussed about catches. They'll almost do like full tie rules and then they fight without it. Little pullback there that Nadaka does. It's a bit risky, but he'll allow the kick to fall in that space between his arms and his chest. Here, he does that same inside low kick to outside low kick, and he tries to lift his leg up and back to get the foot out of the catch, but Toki sticks his forearm to it, almost like kung fu hands there, sticks his forearm, raises a hand up, so he kind of sticks to it, lengthens his stance to cover a little bit more distance. He's going to try and load up a left kick, but Nadaka recovers his stance so well because he allows himself to come back orthodox. Even though he's a southpaw stylist, when he lands orthodox, and that's going to allow him to lean over this leg rather than shuffling his feet right in front of him where he get caught with the kick, and then he has to do a little Super Mario 64 backwards jump to get out of the range of that. Moving away, touches into the rope to get back to it. Again, a lot of knee feints. There's like a hand fight. You can see Toki Tomorrow's got a shirt that says no clinch on it. Pretty ironic with him getting swept to the mat there. RWS is very strict on sweeping with the instep of the foot, but those knee blocks are allowed in Muay Thai rules, not in kickboxing, but blocking the knee with your own knee as you turn someone to sweep. Sometimes it can actually be more effective, especially in this in-close clinch. It can be more effective than trying to sweep with the foot. You might not get the displacement to sweep with the foot. And there's something very important. If you do it, and they don't go to the floor, because 90% of the time, unless you've got the perfect timing, they won't go to the floor, just use that kazushi, use that off balance. He turns him to the right, and then just makes a space to knee with the same side. Because as you're turning him with the right, you're probably pulling your right leg back, and that's going to prepare you for the knee. They're off balance, so they're not going to be braced for the knee particularly well, and you're going to land it much cleaner than just trying to pick your leg straight up. A lot of hand fighting, sticky. You're not trying to be strong. When these gloves are, together, your gloves are together with your opponent, and there's that hand fight. You're not trying to be strong. You're not trying to burn your grip out. You're not trying to squeeze through the glove. You're trying to be sticky. My first coach was Kin from Thailand, Kin Prayanthawang. He had about 250 fights, and he was always saying in the clinch, not strong, sticky, not strong, sticky. There again, a sweep with that knee block, not allowed in kickboxing, but a lot of times kickboxers are just happy to spar like that, even if they spar with Thai guys, even if they spar with MMA fighters, obviously not allowing double legs, but they are happy to spar in that way. I will put the link to the original video in the description if you want to see this with all the laughs and the interview if you understand Japanese. There's that knee feint again, knee feint into calf kick. Because it wasn't as committed, he turns it into a sweep. I'm sure you've seen reels of Yuki Yoza do this against Taiyo Asahisa in their championship fight. Yuki Yoza fighting this month and won championship. Knee feint, which draws a response of the knee feint from Toki Tomorrow. A lot of times you do something, even if it's something small, you cross your feet, your knee feint, your jab feint, whatever, you throw a jab. People do the same thing back, and that sets them up for the sweep. It's two-minute rounds. They don't do much more. They don't show anything else on this. They have a little interview. I wish I could understand what they were saying, but really lucky to see that video because they're two of my favourite southpaws, not just now, but of all time. I've been George Hardwick. If you like the stuff, ask who I should break down next. If you've got any recommendations for sparring clips, send them over, or pad work. Subscribe, check the Patreon, brush your teeth if you eat raw onions.